Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Awaken Within. I hope you're checking in well wherever you are today when you're listening. So, in today's episode, I want to talk about the fact that we live in a very convenient yet toxic world. And I just want to preface this conversation by saying that this isn't necessarily about totally disregarding the innovations of us as humans or the innovation of technology, but rather it's more about how we can bring our conscious awareness to it, how we can find the balance of staying in nature, staying in our true essence, staying grounded in that, whilst still taking advantage of the amazing conveniences and technology that has evolved over recent decades. So I just wanted to start the conversation with that. So let's get into it. So, as the title of the podcast suggests, we have grown up in an extremely convenient world, particularly in the last couple of decades as things start to be speeding up. And we have everything that we want basically at our fingertips with little to no wait time in between. So that's really that instant gratification piece as well. And in many ways, this can be an enhancement to our life. Think about, anything that you have in your life that has that instantaneous or convenience about it that does enhance your life, but in a lot of cases there are so many examples of ways that this can be detrimental to our well-being, and that's mind, body, and soul. Think about how easy it is and how convenient it is to go to the supermarket, for example. Whatever your large supermarket chain is that you have in your local area. And inside the supermarket, you have everything that you need for your weekly shop in one place. You've got your fruits and vegetables, you've got your bread and milk, you've got everything else in between, cleaning products, bathroom, kitchen, beauty products, whatever you need. And best or worst of all, we've got conveniently already prepackaged foods as well. However, I would say 99% of these products that you'll find in your grocery store are laden with toxic chemicals. There are lots of, conscious brands coming out these days, which is really lovely and a big step forward for sure. But think about like all of your run-of-the-mill cleaning products, bathroom products, the processed and packaged foods, even the ones that can have the false health claims on the front of their box or the front of their packaging, which there's usually no regulation around, side note. And then worst of all, even the fresh produce that they've got in the produce section has been sprayed with pesticides, genetically modified to produce the most crop yields, and produce in a way that the food can be transported more efficiently across the country or even across the world in some situations. And then usually they'll still look intact whenever or wherever it finds itself, in your supermarket and then ultimately into your home. And then, all of these different areas where you start to opt for convenience over, health does start to add up, and it starts to accumulate into one big toxic mess, which over time can compound into, disease and problems that we experience in our physical bodies and otherwise as well. So what's the solution to this? I guess the first thing that we need to talk about is the awareness. So just being aware that this is the place that we have found ourselves in this current time on the planet is we've got all of these advances in technology and innovations, which if we use them in the right way, it's so beneficial and time, saving and convenient for us. But at what cost sometimes? So that's something that you will have to make a personal decision about, what's serving you and what's not. But what I would say is maybe take a moment to take stock of how you're living your life day to day. And there's kind of themes that run through this, but take stock of how you're living your life day to day. So have a look at where you're getting your food from, how much time you're spending using technology, everything. Maybe you could keep a little journal or a little notebook for a week or so and just have a look and see how you live your day from the moment that you wake up until you go to bed at nighttime, and just have a look and see. And then if you start to identify some areas that you think could be improved. So for example, if at the moment you're using a mainstream deodorant that you buy on the shelf from one of the big chain supermarkets, maybe that's something that you could jot down to find a healthier sort of like natural alternative to that. So jot down some of the areas that you think could really use some improvement. And then what the best thing to do then is just to start to implement one change at a time, because if you find that there's quite a few areas that need to be addressed, and if you want to dive in and do them all at once, I guess sometimes for certain people, certain personality types, certain lifestyles, that might work. But if you're someone who would consider yourself time poor, or it just feels like a really big change for you, just start with one area. And then you get that one area down pat, and then you can move to the next one. And then that will help to, I guess, eliminate that feeling of overwhelm when you know you've got some big changes to make. And then I guess what we need to do then is just to start to look at the healthiest option possible at each time. So we're looking at minimal processing, as close to nature as possible. Obviously, that depends on what area of what life that we're looking at, but we're really talking about, our food and our personal products and our cleaning products specifically here. So there's always alternatives. This is the way that we did things before all of these conveniences were at our fingertips. So that's something to really consider. And it really is just a deep remembering, and coming back to our roots and coming back into more alignment with how we should be living and more alignment with the natural rhythms of the earth. So this leads me to my next point is maybe the first swap that you could do is if you're buying like prepackaged food, you're buying prepackaged cleaning and beauty products, maybe the first swap that you could do is just swapping to the healthier, more natural alternatives. So when you turn the package around and you're reading the label, having a look at ones that have minimal ingredients list and also ingredients that you can see come from the earth. So that might be a good first step to take. And then the second step to take would be starting to look at making as much of your own food and cleaning and beauty products from scratch as possible. As I mentioned, there are some really great clean beauty and clean cleaning products companies out there. So that's definitely an option for you. But yeah, having a look at ways that you can create your own food and grow your own food if possible. That would be amazing, even just a few little bits here and there. And I know this does sound like, it does take more time. It does take more effort. It does take more devotion. But really, at the end of the day, what else is more important than your own well-being and cultivating that deep sense of health and vitality from within? Because really, if you don't have that, then nothing else really matters. So something to consider, something to, I guess, have a look at your priority list of where you're going to put yourself and your well-being on that scale of your list of priorities as well. And what else it means too is when you start to create your own cleaning and beauty products and you're starting to grow your own food or make your own food from clean organic ingredients from the earth, it means that you're starting to create a life with loving intention. It's not, you're not sort of like just always reaching for the convenient option. It's considered, it's slow, it's intentional, it's coming from a place of deep self-love and deep self-worth. And I think there's nothing more beautiful than that. And also too, just having a think about the difference in the energetic vibration of the food or of the product that you're crafting yourself, not to mention the actual physical benefits as well for doing that. Yeah, it's just, I'm just so passionate about sharing this information and inspiring others to live in this way, to use your own two hands to craft something like your food or your natural products, rather than buying something that's wrapped in plastic and there's no life force energy and it's transported from somewhere that you have no idea where to land in your household. So it just seems like such a vast difference, and we have this power, we have this available to us. It's just a matter of making a different choice and being committed and devoted to that as well. And I want to shift gears a little bit, just briefly, talking about shifting from food and health products and beauty products and cleaning products over to technology. And as I said before, it's definitely not about suggesting that we give up technology altogether. It can be a wonderful thing, a beautiful tool to cultivate connections. You can work online. You can, if technology is used with people who are living from the heart, and if you are using technology with discernment and intention and perhaps some boundaries as well, would be really powerful, then yeah, it's a really powerful tool. And it's a really, we're so blessed to be able to have this technology, but just having those structures in place for yourself, I guess, around your use of technology, so that it doesn't become something it's consuming you. I think we see that a lot with people just dialed in, zoomed into this little tiny box or this little tiny screen. And I think it's just use it when you need to, when you can, and with intention, and then look around at the beauty that surrounds us everywhere in nature. Something else to consider too with your use of technology and electronic devices, and I've spoken about this before, is the electromagnetic frequencies. They're often referred to, shortened down to EMF, that are emitted from all electronic devices. And even though we can't see these EMF frequencies, I think that can be the danger of it, is because we can't see a threat with our eyes, we kind of struggle to be able to comprehend the detrimental effects of it. So it's something to consider. And you can have a look and do your own research of some ways that you can neutralize those EMF effects. But there's some companies now that make products specifically for this, to counterbalance, and you can use different crystals and other sorts of things as well. So definitely something to look into if you are using electronic devices a lot in your life as well. So to summarize, I guess, whatever we're doing in our life, if we're having our own best and highest well-being at heart, if we're keeping nature at the forefront of our mind, this is going to help us to, I guess, navigate the rocky terrain that we find ourselves to be able to live with intention in this modern world, fusing the ancient wisdom of nature with the innovation of technology, knowing how to find the balance, knowing your personal limits, knowing your how you want to intentionally craft your life. Where can you choose intention and purpose and ritual with your food and your products that you're using with your home and your time as well, versus always opting for convenience when you know it might not be the best thing for you. And these are all personal choices that you have to make, myself included. And no one's going to be able to do that for you. No one's going to know what's right for you. So it's up to each of us to take that time to reflect, to decide with intention, having discernment around all of these things, and taking the power back into our own hands. So it's just it's such a big one. And I'd love to hear your thoughts about this as well. Let me know if you have your own thoughts around this, if you've got your own practices and rituals, what you think really helps to stay grounded in this as well. So please do let me know. You can come and connect with me over on Instagram. My handle is @_Beck Russell. I think that's it for today. As always, if you have any topic suggestions, come and send them through to me as well. But otherwise, until next time, take really good care of yourself, and I'll chat to you again soon.